an overview of our high school experience and moving forwards. So as you can guess, I'm in grade 12. And imagining back to grade 10, I was like really hopeful and I had a lot of goals in grade 10. So I thought, why not sum all of the things that I've done, or most of the things I've done in my grade 12 year, into a slideshow and present it to everyone. Okay, so into my life. We're gonna split it into 4 sections: introduction, my school, sports and others, and finally a conclusion and a broad message. So introduction, what will this presentation really be? So this presentation is a vlog almost of my life, a journal that I can look back to when I try and reminisce about my high school years. A little selfish, I know. But it's also a way to tell people that everyone is afraid to do stuff in grade 12. Like, what do they expect you to do in high school, right? You put on your college applications, they want all of this stuff and all of these things you've done, all these extracurriculars while you balance your academics. And I know I'm not the only one struggling with it, so I want to kind of broadcast that message. An introduction to me, because you probably need to know me before I get into my life. So this photo, or this character, has been my profile picture for probably since I entered high school. Now, I haven't really watched this anime much anymore, but it really reminisced with me because it's also a high schooler, and their lives seemed really nice. I wanted this type of life where they went around and they went and solved mysteries. And one of them was kind of related to the ABC murders by Agatha Christie. Does anyone know that? No? Well, it's really, really good. Oh, there is someone. It's really good, and I just wanted to be this person, and that probably already speaks a lot about my character. So, I already went through what is this for. Basically, I had goals, and I wanted to accomplish those goals before high school. So it's a reflection on what have I done, and what can you do as well? We're moving into my school. So from the bottom here, academics, IA, EE, you probably already know, I'm a full diploma student, or IB diploma. So this is a really, really big part of my life, because almost every class I have is within this circle of people who also really want to get educated and learn a lot of information and challenge themselves as well. So internal assessments are something you have to accomplish for almost every IB course you take. The EE is something, a 4,000 word essay to be exact, or approximately 4,000, on a topic that you get to choose. And I also decided to take all 3 sciences just to broaden my choices. If you went to yesterday's talk, Alyssa did an amazing job on talking about women's education and getting to choose. And that's something I wanted as well. Summarize, I wanted options, and I wanted to experience a lot and gain a lot before I moved into college that was supposedly a lot harder, and I wanted to have that experience. So moving into my internal assessments, a lot of my internal assessments I kind of molded into myself. As you can see, I did a chem experiment on electricity, IA on opioid usage actually, in math, a simple pendulum physics IA, and a coding English IA. And I found it hard to do what I did. I really did challenge myself, and I know that every IB student in every high school student that works towards their academic challenges themselves. So I just wanted to say that you're not alone. And I'm going into computer science, so I put a lot of effort into trying to put myself and what I enjoyed into my IAs. So when I did my IAs, I wouldn't feel that I was just doing another task, another burden, but actually something I wanted to explore and accomplish and would benefit the world if they knew about it. And also myself, because I learned more about it. Moving on to my extended essay, I also put a lot of myself into this. So my full title is Analyzing and Calculating Vehicle Movement from General Traffic Footage. And it sounds somewhat simple and also very complex, as you can see from the screen here. I dealt with matrices, homography, SVD to try and find the movement, and to ultimately say that if I were in this lane, I'd get to school faster. So that was my personal connection, and it was pretty useful because actually, that's the lane I used to get to school. It might be a coincidence, I'm not sure. My dad's probably also very calculative. So here we can see that this is at 0 seconds on the left here, and on the right there is at 1 second. And finally, or not finally, but a large part of my other school life was sports and just fun things to drive, because I want to encourage others. I never thought that I would be standing on this stage today, presenting and being an MC and co-president of TEDyAinlay. But here I am. Going into grade 10, I was actually extremely quiet and shy, but I changed a lot during high school. And change isn't a bad thing. It's a very good thing, because now that you've experienced something, you can do it again. And I did a lot of presentations. And each time I learned something new from it. I remember last year, oh my God, when I look back at that presentation, I thought, what was I doing? But in fact, that was a good challenge. I learned so much from that I can put into this presentation to all of you right now. So here are just some other things that you can do at this school that you might have thought of or never even have thought of. And if you've thought of it, you might not have thought that you wanted to try it, but everything is a good thing to try. So I was part of the swimming team. The reason was actually not because my friends dragged me into it, surprisingly, but because I wanted to be on a sports team, especially in my last year of school. In grade 10 and grade 11, I had never been on a sports team before, and I kind of wanted to experience it. And also, the party at the very end of the year was very enticing. So I gained so much from the swim team. I don't even know how to put it into words most of the time. Not only did I overcome, going back a while now, I have done swimming for a long time, and I think I stopped in grade 8. So approximately a 3 to 4 year gap before I started swimming again. And I never thought I could have joined the swim team and continued swimming. I also never thought I was diligent enough to wake up at 6 in the morning every day, or not every day, but it felt like every day, for around 2 days every week. That was a hard task at the beginning of the year. But now, once we get to the next slide, I'm still doing it. So when we went to city champions, actually, I won first in my heat. I never thought that was possible given my experience level. And after that, I continued with the swim team because I was part of concessions during tri-prof. And I gained so many new friends, and also I connected with a lot of my friends from junior high that I hadn't talked to because I was surrounded by this circle of Ivy and these people who thought like me. And it was just really good to get that new perspective. Next, we have badminton. I'm part of the badminton team, which is why I still continue waking up at 6 in the morning. What fun. But actually, it's really enjoyable because, well, I've tried out for the badminton team in grade 10 and 11, and I didn't make it. I was actually really discouraged, and I almost didn't want to try out this year at all. But I did so anyways because I had friends supporting me, and also because it just gave me a new experience. Badminton forces you into this mindset that academics or swimming or different things that I tried had never forced me into. That hyper focus of relaxing while doing a serve and also getting ready to play and trying my best for this team effort. Over there, we have a special photo. Shout out to Benjamin, who's might be here or might not be here today. Oh, he's here. So this is last year's team, and I just really wanted to be part of this. And this year I did, and I made that goal. Next, school clubs. Self-promoting here. I'm also a co-president of STEM Club, which you guys should go to Tuesdays in room 132. We do a lot of fun projects, please guys. So last time we actually played with acidity, pH, and basic substances, which was led by Alyssa over there, and it was super fun. I'm also part of math club and computer science club. Once again, trying to go into clubs where my interest lies. And the two very big things on the right side over there, HSMUN. I've been part of this club since COVID, grade 10 actually, where it was online. And even though it wasn't the full experience, I had so much fun that I decided to do it again. In grade 11, I went in and I didn't really have people, or a lot of my friends who were part of IB, because that was a circle that surrounded me, who went into it with me. So I was kind of alone. But that wasn't a bad thing because I made new friends and it was an overall very enjoyable experience. So be okay with opening yourself up. And this year, I'm so glad that I convinced my friends to join me. And we had an incredible time, even though I wasn't with them all the time. Just debating about social issues is so important. Although you might not believe in your country's perspective, that's actually a good thing because now you're arguing against what you were for, and it gives you this change in mindset. And although you still might not believe in your country's perspective, you also met people in countries that correspond with your perspective. And that's such an important thing, is to look at things from different perspectives. Next, going more into my interests of coding, I did Eureka back in grade 10 during COVID-19. And it was once again online. Online was not very fun. But we did so much and I learned a lot. I actually led the MIG challenge program for my team. Probably because of our lack of communication, I took over the job and tried to get everyone to complete it. And to me, that was a very difficult task, and I'm so glad that I joined this program and challenged myself that way. As you can see, we investigated the cholera vaccine. I could never get that saying right. And I remember distinctly in my head, during badminton practice, I went on and on to my brother about this script I had prepared about cholera, or cholera. And he was so bored of me by the end of it. And that just shows how much I've changed. From needing a script memorized and then messing up on it, to now presenting in front of you with a little impromptu, if you will. And on the right side over there, we have the language R, which is a statistical programming language. And that's what we learned during Eureka. So you can see why it played into my interests, but also how important it can be as a life skill. I learned JavaScript, HTML, and CSS, as well as Python. Some of it on my own, but also through the computer science class. And I also did team up science. So high school, you really have to branch out and find your interests. At some point in time this year, I actually thought about going into medicine. I know, total 180 from computer science. And my friends would tease me, and already have teased me, about being a bio kid. But I just thought, my path is so open. I can choose anything I want. And it was hard to decide what my interests are, and it still is hard to decide. I'm not sure where my interests are, but I do know that I have fun while coding. So that's what I decided to do. Art. So my struggles in art, but also my joys. On the right is a painting I did a while ago, and on the left is one I completed recently. And looking at them now, I can see large improvement, may I say. I have such a hard time figuring out spatial representation and just trying to get stuff on the canvas, because I'm a very mathematical and logical person. So I'd rather divide the canvas into separate grids and meticulously put down colors onto each grid than to, hey, here's the base layer that you can barely see. Then comes this second layer that you can hardly see at the end. And finally, here's the last layer that you can properly see. I just see colors, right? So that's a very challenging thing, and I learned a lot from art. And it's totally out of my comfort zone to do art, but I challenge myself anyways, and I hope that you guys do too. Piano. I've been having a very hard time in piano lately. Basically, I'm extremely busy with academics, badminton, sports, all of these school stuff, and also out of school stuff, that I barely make time for piano every week. Maybe 2 to 3 hours of practice? That's not very much for the level I'm supposed to be practicing at. And it's been a while as well that I've had the issue that when I put on my metronome, I'm not listening to it at all. I can't hear my metronome. I can't hear the rhythm or beat of what I'm playing. And it's such a big issue, and my teacher has confronted me about it, but I'm not sure how to change it. And that's something I'm currently struggling with. So this presentation isn't about just, oh, my past struggles, here they are, and oh wow, how joyful that I overcame them, but also about what I'm currently struggling with and what I will be struggling with. I still haven't overcome this, and it does not bring me that much joy as, let's say, finishing this art piece. But it's a good thing to know how to read music, to know how to appreciate music, to challenge myself in that way. And also, piano is a thing that you need to do daily. And I find that very hard to plan out stuff. And it also challenges myself in that way. Finally, conclusion. So by showing you all of this and a large portion of my life, what am I really trying to tell you guys? Well, first off, that IB is a really great thing. And you guys, if you can, should definitely try it. Maybe not full IB, but at least some courses. As you can see, the IAs are probably very hard and were very hard, but I was able to mold myself into them. And I was able to accomplish something I never thought I could do. And I was able to make an actual research paper and something that could be useful. And that's such an amazing thing to do at a high school level. And you're not alone because you have teachers to support you. Next, I want to say that it's okay to struggle with things. We all struggle with things, no matter if you're on a sports team, off a sports team, do music, do arts, if you are in IB, if you're just going about your daily life. We all struggle. And we all can find joy in stuff. This is just one part of my life. And it's just a high school experience from the title, my high school experience. But I'm sure a lot of you can relate to it. At some point in time, or I am still trying to, find my schedule or how I try and how I work. I've tried blocking in times, setting timers myself. It's never really worked, and my schedule turns kind of messy like this. Today, the physics IA first graph was supposed to be due, and is still due. A lot of us can relate to this wonderful thing. Next is deadline for sending in the IB marks to the U of A. I did already accomplish this. And this TEDyAinlay conference right now. And also a chemistry IB review that may or may not have happened or is happening right now that I missed. And this isn't even all of my life. For example, on the 16th, I had art class. I didn't put that in. And I didn't put a lot of other stuff in as well. Like today, we were supposed to create a paper one for social. That I did not put in. So you can see how messy my life can get, even though the slides are very pastel and everything looks pristine and clean. It's not. And it just goes to show you that everyone struggles in high school. Everyone has a hard time with time management. I don't want to do a lot of things that I made myself do. But it's a good thing to step out of that box, to view new perspectives, to challenge yourself, to find joy in being yourself. High school was supposed to look like what's on the left right here. Everyone's smiling, everyone happy, nice uniforms. Instead, it looks something like the middle. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this experience. I know at least all of the IB students can, and all of my friends can. But I also found that making this presentation and going through my life and reflecting in this way I did in front of all of you, that I was able to discover a lot. I learned a lot of information. I know a lot more. I gained so many experiences from all of my clubs, all of my activities I've done. I was able to connect with other people and meet new perspectives like Merrick over here. And Also able to find myself. IB took a lot and takes a lot of time, but I was still able to go on vacation. I was still able to hang out with my friends. I was able to talk and text with them on a daily basis. It doesn't suck the very life out of you. In fact, it gave me more life and more people to talk to. And I would encourage everyone to maybe not go into IB per se if you really don't want to, but go into clubs to find yourself. Go into Model UN to meet new people, to admire new people, to have that capability to try and improve yourself. At Model UN, I know that in grade 10, even online, I heard someone amazing talk. And that's a large part of why I wanted to go into it in grade 11, even though I didn't have a lot of people surrounding me. Because I wanted to be that person, to be that speaker who can talk. And that's something I never imagined myself wanting back in grade 7, where my friend, my best friend at the time, had to sit by me and then start talking to me for, I think, at least 2 weeks before I started talking to them. Thank you.